Greetings, I am Tom Earl. Welcome to the celebration. As you know, this is my year of courage. We know you could be anywhere, so the fact that you are here sharing your greatest gifts, your time and your energy means the world to me. I hope you know in this space you are loved just as you are. My friends, we are going to start as we like to do whenever it's just me and you, and that is by centering our intentions with our breathing. So I'd like you to, wherever you are, kind of sit up straight, check on your posture. And on the count of 3, we're going to breathe in deeply. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. And release. One more time, breathe in. And release. Now, if you're listening to this the week that this episode is coming out, you might know that I am in Nigeria. I'm going to be getting married this week, so I'm super excited about that. And so what we want to do is bring some excitement to all of our lives. Now, this is the time of year where we start going into the quote-unquote holiday seasons with Thanksgiving and Christmas and, of course, the end of the calendar year. Oftentimes, this is those moments in our life where we start to reflect and ask ourselves, what did I do this year? And then we start to build up our intentions for what we want to do in the year to come. Now, what I like to do is start to do that early on rather than waiting the week of New Year's, the 27th of December, is to give myself momentum. And so I start around this time in November reflecting upon my year so that I have already identified how I felt I've done in the areas that I'm measuring in my life, so that when I move into 2019, I already have that momentum, that clarity, and those intentions, so my reflections are complete and I can move into goal setting and envisioning. And so I'd like to provide you with space and an opportunity to do that through listening to the celebration. So what we're about to do here in a sec is I'm going to get out of the way and I want to share with you a workshop that I facilitated with members of the Celebration Academy. It's a workshop that I facilitated the first month of the year. If you're familiar with the 12-month calendar, you will know that is January. And I believe it was actually in the first week or second week of January. And what we reflected upon was our ideal self that you're going to hear during the workshop, that when you have an identity that you create, that you strongly associate with, it can be a strong motivating factor in how you live and in how you feel. And so if you create at the beginning of the year your ideals, ways and codes and truths and morals that you want to stand by, when you have that for yourself, when you come across tough situations or conflict, it can be like your compass, your North Star, your light while you're traveling at sea to know where to go and which direction to aim towards during those times of confusion. And so in case you haven't taken a moment to reflect since the beginning of the year on what is your ideal self, I'd love for this to be an opportunity for you. Or if you have been every single week, every single month, staying active and being aware of who and what you are and how you are living, then you can use this as an opportunity to go deeper within that. And as I said in a second, I'll step out of the way. As always with workshops, I have edited out the times where I say to people, okay, now I would like you to reflect upon this or do this activity. Usually I give people 5 minutes to do that. However, I don't want you sitting there listening to 5 minutes of silence. So instead, if you're going to follow along and do the workshop with us, I suggest you hit play. I actually suggest you hit pause and then hit play once you're ready to return and you've completed the workshop and you're ready to debrief it with us as a group. Now, what I'd like to invite you to do, in addition to listening to this workshop, is if you are ready to make 2019 the year where you pursue and live your dreams, I'd like to be a part of that journey with you. And so I'm offering 50% off anyone who joins Inner Power Group Coaching. Group Coaching Inner Power is designed to allow you to connect with your mission and your purpose, to scale your message, connect with your audience, and begin to create a sustainable income. If that's something you're interested in and you'd like 50% off your first month, you just need to join before the end of 2018. Head to tomroll.com/coach, and then you can enter the coupon code DREAMBIG. All of that will be found at tomroll.com/coach. Anyways, let me get out of the way and allow you to enjoy and experience this workshop, which focuses on creating your ideal self. Check it out. Okay, greetings everyone. Welcome to this month's live training for members of the Celebration Academy. We like to call this Leadership Makes Impact. For leadership is one of the greatest ways we can serve. How's everybody doing today?
Good. Good.
Wonderful. So what we'd like to do is just if everybody could start by saying their name, where you're from, and what's your favorite color? That'd be awesome. So who would like to start first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
My name is Rachel, and I'm from London. And I feel like my favorite color at the moment is purple.
Ooh, that's one of my favorite colors too. And your name was Rachel, right?
Yeah.
Can we snap it up for Rachel, please?
Okay, snaps.
Who would like to go next?
But I'll go next.
I'll go. Oh, okay.
I am Deborah, also visiting from London, and my favorite color is green.
Green. Okay, cool. Can we snap it up for Deborah, please? Raza, did you want to go next?
Sure. This is Raza from Corona, California, SoCal, hoo-hoo. And my favorite color is blue. Shades of blue, but blue.
Oh, nice. Can we snap it up for Raza, please? Cool. We'll have Adora be able to introduce herself when she gets here. And then Sadia is on the line, as she mentioned. She's calling in. She just recently moved here from Florida to California, and she was working today, so she's driving home while listening to us. But to be safe, she's not going to participate verbally until she's in a place where she can not be driving. So can we snap it up for Sadia?
Yay! Welcome to California.
Yes, indeed. So what we want to focus on today is it's the beginning of the 2018 calendar. And so we want to take the opportunity to set the year with intention. And so we'll take the next hour. So we'll finish at 1:15. And I just want to apologize for starting 15 minutes late. I appreciate everybody's patience. And we'll end promptly at 1:15. Does that sound good to everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, cool. So you'll want maybe a pen and a piece of paper, or if you're on a computer and you want to pull up Microsoft Word or anything like that, just have something that you can write with. Does that sound good to everybody?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and feel free, Deborah and Rachel, y'all can pull up Microsoft Word on my computer if you don't have anything to write on.
We can use notes, but yeah.
Okay. Or notes, perfect. Or if you want to do it on your phone, anything like that.
Okay, cool.
Oh, that's true.
Okay. All right, so here's this question we're going to start with is when you were a child, who was somebody that you looked up to that for you seemed to be larger than life? Or you viewed them almost as like a superhero figure, somebody that was really a big role model or an ideal for you to look up to. And it can be somebody that was real or fictional. They can be a character from a book or from a movie, a person you knew, somebody from history, anything like that. Does that make sense what we'll be doing?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so why don't everybody take a couple seconds to figure out what that is, and then we'll go around each person. Who would like to start us off? Go ahead, Adora. If you could just say your name and then who your person was.
My name's Adora, like it says. And my person, I've been thinking about him a lot because I just found out he passed away. And I think when I was about maybe 6 or 7. He must have been 17 or 18 or something like that. And he was just such a pleasure and a joy. And we lived in London. We were part of the Nigerian community there. And then we were also part of the Western community with everyone doing their whole, we live in London thing. But they never really seemed to meet, apart from with this one person who we called Uncle Osi. And he was like, he'd come in his super tight jeans, white t-shirt, leather jacket to our house every weekend. And he'd do homework with us and really mundane stuff. But you could tell he had this really cool life outside where he'd just ducking and diving, weaving and bobbing around. It was just such an awesome person to have in our life to show us that you can intersect, you can code switch, and you can still be part of this huge community and still be very much a product of where you live. So I nominate Uncle Osi, rest in peace.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Adora. Can we show Adora some love? Snap it up for Adora. Adora, who would you like to nominate to go next?
Deborah!
Hello. Right. I was thinking about this as well. Initially, I was going to say my mum, but then thinking about it a bit more, I'd say my brother, Kwabena. He was born Wayne Anthony Fletcher, but after in his early 20s, he decided to change his name to Kwabena, which is a Ghanaian name. So it's sort of identifying himself with his African roots. And it took a big sort of persuasion from my own parents and also our wider family for him to change his name and for people to call him by Kwabena, because people still called him Wayne. And for many years went on, he said, no, my name is Kwabena, and he had to explain the history, explain the reasoning. And it just made me think a lot more about our heritage in terms of where our names come from, what they mean to us as a person, as our identity. And I always makes me value the importance of a name and the respect it can gain when people call you by your correct name and how you want to be called. So for that, I'll nominate my brother Kwabena.
Oh, stop hearing you.
You can't really hear you anymore.
Stop hearing you.
Oh,
There we go.
okay. Yeah.
I had muted myself and then forgot to unmute myself. Who would you like to nominate to go next?
Who else is online here?
I can't see the name.
I can't see the names. I'll have to say Rachel then.
Right.
So.
Rachel?
I'm failing at this question because I literally can't think of anyone. I don't think there's like any one person that I looked up to as a child. I think probably I always looked up to people that were like really, who I thought were intelligent and outgoing and uber confident. And I feel like probably growing up there were many people like that, but no one specific kind of is like, that is the person that I kind of looked up to. They were the traits that I looked for, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. Can we show Rachel some love?
Woo.
Yay.
And Rachel, there's for all the exercises we do, and this is for everybody, there's no wrong or right way to do them. So it's impossible to fail. So your answer was right on point, and we appreciated it. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So we have Raza and myself left. Who would you like to nominate to go next?
Raza, please.
All righty. So, this came to me very quickly. I had a few role models. The one that always pops up still to this date growing up was Mother Teresa, actually, and she was definitely a large figure. And I loved everything about her, especially the cause, that she was fighting for, humanitarian. She was a great humanitarian, and obviously just spreading unconditional love and treating and serving the underprivileged. So that was so beautiful for me, seeing, that happen. So yeah, that was, Mother Teresa was just, it still is to this day, one of the most amazing figures in this world. So
that's wonderful. Can we snap it up for Raza? Thank you, Raza.
Yeah.
And Raza, who would you like to nominate? Oh, Adora, did you have something?
I just wanted to say, Raza, you are such a pleasure to have on these workshops because you always bring such a fresh perspective. And lots of people in the world will say Mother Teresa or Martin Luther King or something like that. But for you, first of all, you're from a different faith and you admire this amazing woman. And you also are from a cultural heritage that knows the ins and outs of what she actually did. So it's just such a joy to have you on, as well as everybody else, of course.
Yay!
Thank you so much for saying that. That is so, so nice and refreshing of you. Thank you so much, Adora. I appreciate that.
I'm loving the affirmations. Thank you for that, Adora. And I second that. Raza, who would you like to nominate to go next?
Let's see, there's only one person left, maybe you, so why don't you go, Cal?
I appreciate it. My person, similar to what Rachel was saying, that it was a lot of people, but one person that comes to mind is Wayne Gretzky. Have you all heard of him?
Oh.
Yeah.
At the time in my life, he was one of the best hockey players of all time. I think he was one of the youngest people to go to the Olympics to play hockey and all these different things. And since hockey was my life at that time, I wanted to be like Wayne Gretzky and would read books on him and all those kind of things. So he was to me somebody that was bigger than life. Can we snap it up for time?
We can.
Oh, yeah.
So Rachel kind of started to go into this a little bit, but what was it about that person, or what are some themes we're hearing about characteristics that make people bigger than life to other people or to us? What are some of those traits or character aspects that we can kind of pull out?
I think for me, selfishly, he was just so nice to us. And little as we were very used to adults or cool people not necessarily being nice to us. So that accessibility and willingness to just treat you as an equal. So yeah, that's what made him heroic for me.
That's wonderful. Does anybody else agree that kindness plays a large part in building relationships or in someone seeming like an ideal person?
Yeah.
What are some other traits that stick out to you that kind of make someone like that?
I think for me, my brother, his name was quite brave. You know, he faced a lot of ridicule, particularly from our own sort of family, our own culture, in terms of changing his name to Kwabena, an African name. He was called all sorts, but he continued and he persevered. And I think that bravery sort of shone through. And I think, and the perseverance of it as well. So like standing up and standing out. And now people kind of respect him for it. So I think that was a big trait, standing point for me.
That's wonderful. Bravery, courage, being yourself and sticking to it when other people are maybe trying to give you pressure or resistance to conform. I agree with that one. Thank you so much. Does Rachel or Raza, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, sure. Obviously, kindness was something, that was just brought up right now, to be kind and to do these things. But I think oftentimes I realized, I don't know, many of us are trying to be kind, but I feel that at times, as normal as we are, there's always conditions, and strings attached. But to be selfless and do it selflessly, that's like a huge trait for me. That's why I said Mother Teresa and some of these other figures, they're so selfless. And there's a beauty that lies in it, honestly, and that is something I wanted to bring up as well.
What does selfless mean?
Just, there's no selfishness. You're doing it without any strings attached, just to give back and to, show your love without having any conditions, without any expectations, that you're giving to someone in some form or shape without any conditions whatsoever.
Yeah.
And just making a difference in humanity, in people's life, in a person's life. And it just brings you joy doing it for someone else. So maybe you're selfish like that, it brings you joy. But other than that, it's a very selfless act.
That's wonderful. I appreciate you expanding upon it as well. Rachel, did you have anything that you wanted to add?
I guess there's something about two things that I was thinking. One was about like standing up for the little guy, and coupled with that is something about the ability to see people. I think like so often you feel like you're not seen, and those people that always stood out for me were the people that saw me. Like, and I feel that's an ability for them to see lots of people, but really see them, if that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense.
And so, I think there's something that there's the connection between the idea of seeing people and also kind of standing up for people, and that, they're the things.
That's wonderful. And it reminds me a little bit of what Adora was saying too, where I felt like that's what you were saying for your uncle Adora, that he was kind to you, but especially little kids oftentimes are seen as not having enough value for adults' respect, and kind of what you were saying, Rachel, literally little people. So to be seen and to be heard and to be shown kindness, I resonate with that as well.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for expanding upon that. What we're arriving at is starting to name what is the characteristics that make up a person's identity, who we view as a superhero, a super shiro, or someone larger than life. And what we want to do in the next 45 minutes we have together is create your ideal self for 2018. The part of you that you look up to and that you want to strive to become, and to create an identity for yourself where you become literally your own role model and superhero. Does that make sense, what we have outlined that our intentions are for this workshop?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you can't see us, right, Raza? You can only hear us?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to refer to something that people can see right now, but I'll explain what it is as well. Can everybody see this thing I have here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is something that psychologists talk about and debate often, is what order do you put these three words? So I have feelings, behaviors, or you can think of this as the things we do or our actions. And then last is identity. So we talk about a lot here at the Celebration Academy that anything we ever want in life, we want because of the way we believe it'll make us feel. So whether it's a car, a level of success in our career, a family, whatever it is we think we want it because of the way we think it'll make us feel. And alignment is when you can forward feel. You can feel that feeling now before you actually get this thing. And once you feel the feeling, you are then in alignment with it. And that's when things start to naturally happen for you and things are easy. And most importantly, you enjoy the journey. So how do we get to a place of feeling good? One place is that they say you start by feeling good. You get yourself somehow to feel good. And then from that, you'll start to do things and you'll start to act in a way that's in line with those feelings. And ultimately, it's who you become. Does this sort of make sense? Feeling, then behaviors, then identity. So the other way that psychologists will explain it is reverse. That first it starts with who you are. Can you see where it starts with identity?
Yeah.
Okay. So the other way they say is that that's actually hard, because let's say you wake up and one of your identities is that I am an athlete, and you wake up in the morning and you're feeling tired. You're feeling lazy. You're not feeling motivated. If you're feeling tired, you're feeling lazy, you're feeling unmotivated, if we were to then follow the old model, then those feelings would lead to behaviors that are in line with that. So I might just hang out. I might not do anything. And then ultimately, it would start to detract from my identity of being an athlete. But if you start with identity, where you say, my ideal self is that I am a high-performing athlete with lots of energy, you would then say, well, what does a person do, or how does a person act who is a high-performing athlete? And you would say, they get lots of sleep, they drink lots of water, they go work out at Equinox and use the eucalyptus towels. And ultimately, you'd start to feel really healthy and you'd feel good and positive. And so this flow right here is another version. Do these two make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Would anybody be willing to share in their own words what one of these models means? You can do the identity, then behaviors, then feelings, or the reverse, feelings, behaviors, then identities.
What do you mean by what they mean? What it means? Means to.
If you could summarize in your own words what I said, basically.
Oh, okay.
Well, go ahead.
For me, sometimes this way, identity, behaviors, feelings. It's like if you're of a certain identity, let's say a black female who's there, sometimes it can be words associated with that. So you behave in a certain way, maybe from a more of a societal thing, and then your feelings, and you feel from that. I don't know. I could also say identity, feelings, behaviors, in terms of and how they respond to each other. But sometimes having an identity and it's sort of self-prophesized and how you would behave, and then that would lay out some certain feelings. I don't know. That's how I kind of see it. I'm not saying it's correct, but I think that's how I would see it.
It was totally correct. You were right on point. And I appreciate your example of how I was using things from our personal identity, like athlete and those kind of things, where you brought in things from our social identity, like maybe our gender or our race or our religion, and how our perceptions of what that identity means can lead to behaviors, can lead to feelings. And like you were saying, that our identities can become and often do become self-fulfilling prophecies. And so if we take intentional time now to create an identity that to us makes us a superhero in our own minds, we want that to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, that you say, I'm going to act as if I am this identity. Even if I feel I'm not right now in this moment, I'm going to act as if I am this ideal self. And I'm going to do the things that this ideal self would do. And ultimately, through knowing I am this and doing this, I will feel the feeling as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you put it very nicely. Thank you, Tom.
My pleasure. So we're going to do one of Adora's favorite exercises that we do. And if you are a part of the live and online expression session you've done before, it's called a 20-second poem. And the whole point of it is to get us out of the part of ourself that doubts what we say before we say it, or critiques what we say before we even think it. And instead, by restricting the time you can have to answer the question, you have to just write down and trust whatever thing is that's coming up for you. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you 10 prompts, one at a time, and you're going to have 20 seconds to answer each prompt. You can write it down, you can draw it, you can do whatever you like. Does that make sense?
We're going to have 20 seconds to write an answer to each prompt, yeah?
Exactly, 20 seconds to answer each question.
Okay, cool.
I muted you, Adora, because you were having feedback. What were you saying?
So I was saying the answers should have numbers next to them. So if you ask question number 1, answer for number 1 should say answer for number 1, and then whatever your answer is.
Exactly. And the whole point is to trust your subconscious mind. So if you write something and you're like, wow, that was weird, instead of crossing it off or erasing it, just use it as an opportunity to reflect. Make sense? Okay.
Okay, we'll try.
And what we're going to do is go through some of the areas of our life, finances, relationships, and it's all going to be around I am, because that's really one of the biggest identity prompts you can answer. I am blank. And so some of them might feel repetitive, but it's all because we're focused specifically on creating an ideal identity. As we said before, there's no wrong or right way to do something like this, but there are some guiding prompts that might help. One is to let go of any limitations. So we're talking about your ideal self, not who you are now. So if I was to say, I am, and we were to say finances, and you said, I am, making around a little less than $100,000. But you want to say your ideal self. So if your ideal self is, I am on a private jet, hanging out with Beyonce, eating the best food in the world, like really have fun with it. And there's no limitations to what you can write, because this is your ideal self that you want to make into a superhero for you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Here will come the first one. So you have your pens and pencils or your typing fingers ready?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't need to write the questions down like the problem. We just write the answers down. That's good, right? We don't have to remember actually the questions, do we?
And that's why you write number one and then the answer, because you can just say number one and I can tell you what the prompt was.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, here we go. For 2018, I am blank. That's what you finish. I am. For 2018, I am 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 2. So write down number 2. In my decisions, I am. In my decisions, I am. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 3. First and foremost, I am. First and foremost, I am. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 4. I always ensure that I am. I always ensure that I am. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. In my financial life, I am. In my financial life, I am. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 6. In my health and wellness, I am. In my health and wellness, I am. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 7. In my relationships, I am. In my relationships, I am. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 8. In my career, I am. In my career, I am. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Number 9. I promise myself to always stay true to this. I am. I promise myself to always stay true to this. I am. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, number 10. The last one. I am blank. I am five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you snap it up for yourselves, please? Yeah. Okay. Before we get started, Sadia, are you still driving or are you home?
Hey, I'm home. Okay, and I did that exercise, so I was trying to see if I can also log on to the computer.
Okay.
But yes, I'm here. I'm listening.
Okay, I was like, I just have this feeling Sadia wants to be unmuted.
I appreciate that. I didn't know how else I was going to talk to you, actually, so that's good.
I got you. Okay, what is one of those numbers that everybody'd like to hear some answers to, or that someone would like to hear some answers to? Go ahead, Adora.
I feel almost like I'm cheating because I can just put up my hand. Sadia brings up a good point. How are people communicating with you when they want to say something? Is the chat button happening?
Nobody's on mute.
Okay, I'm going to
Just
say hello on the chat.
So you can say, me.
Okay, cool.
But Sadia was on mute, so she had no way of saying it.
Cool. I think there used to be, was there something that you could use to just put your hands up as well?
Sadia's here!
Hey! As soon as I can get off this phone.
Let me see. Well, you can use your phone for audio until your
Already joined by phone.
Let's see here. There it is.
Okay.
Woo! Looking good, Sadia.
California's treating you good.
It is treating me pretty well. I'm sitting outside on the patio by the pool right now, so I'm pretty happy.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Sadia, what can you? Well, we introduced you, so we know you're Sadia. Why don't you start with which number would you like to hear some responses to?
I'm interested in hearing responses to number 2.
Number 2 is, in my decisions, I am. Who would like to share one of their responses for that one?
I guess I can.
Go ahead, brother.
Assertive. I'm being more assertive.
And what does that look like for you? What is assertive in your ideal self?
Being confident in the decisions I'm making, believing in myself. That's how I see it.
That's wonderful. I think a lot of us resonate with that. I saw a lot of head nods. Who else would like to share? In my decisions, I am.
I'll share for that. I think I wrote a few words down, so I was like, quick, precise, right, but uncomplicated. That is about my inability to be able to make a decision or to always kind of like second guess myself with things.
Uncomplicated, right?
Yeah.
What would be a word you'd use to describe that in the affirmative?
I don't know. I wrote right down before, but then I felt like I think I'm right about everything. But I just meant just like the gut instincts within myself to kind of make a decision. These are usually decisions, work-related decisions, actually, like career things I'm talking about, where I can't ever make a decision. But I don't know what I don't know what would be a positive way of, an affirmation would be on that sentence.
Does anyone have any suggestions for an affirmative way to say uncomplicated?
Maybe instinctive.
Instinctive?
Maybe.
I think of the book Essentialism, where it talks about getting to the essence of what it is, or simplifying, or clarity. Those are some words that come to mind for me of uncomplicated.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And was that Rachel?
Yeah. It was
Okay,
me.
perfect. Thank you for sharing, Rachel. Would Deborah or Dora like to share? Or should we move on to a different number?
I kind of put similar things in terms of in my decisions, not to worry, or worry less, should I say, and be more assertive.
Mm.
They're the kind of things I would like to be.
That's
more.
wonderful. Who would like to pick the next number that we answer? Go ahead, Adora.
Number 3.
Oh, number 3. Okay. First and foremost, I am blank. Who'd like to jump in on that one? First and foremost, I am blank.
Me.
Go ahead, Sadia.
I said loving, smiley face, satisfied, fair, and human.
Mm. What is that last one? Human. What does that mean for you?
Human, for me, that means when I have a tough emotion or something tough that I'm going through, it's very comforting to know that, oh, okay, we've all been there, we've all felt that. I'm not the first person, I'm not the last person. So it just helps me put it in perspective.
Mm. And I'm hearing in that too, being gentle with yourself and compassionate with yourself and light on yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Who else would like to share in that one? First and foremost, I am.
I can go, Tom.
Go ahead, Raza.
The first thing that popped up was I am keeping it real, which is, to me, was just being myself and being true to myself. Regardless of the cards that I get dealt, I'm still keeping it real, being myself, being genuine, sincere, and loyal. So no matter what I do in life and what obstacles come my way, I'm keeping it real, being myself, being genuine, being honest about it, and embracing it.
That's wonderful. Thank you for that, Raza. Would Adora, Deborah, or Rachel like to share on this one, or should we move on to a different number? Okay. Adora, you keep raising your hand to get to pick the next number. So go ahead. Which next number would you like to pick?
There are 3 of them that I'm dying to find out, so I'm hoping somebody will pick one of mine. But let's start with the first one. 2018, I am, and I've put an Emmy-nominated director of film and television.
Ooh, I like that.
I would say Oscars, but the Oscar nominations don't come out till 2019. So.
Okay.
What number question was that?
Number 1.
Number 1 for 2018, I am.
Gosh.
We'll do for these next ones. We'll see if we can get so we can get everybody's number they want to do. Is we'll just kind of go in a row. So if you want to pass on this one, you can. But I'll just say people's names and as we go. Sadia, do you have one you'd like to share for 2018? I am.
I would like to say that I first started doing it forgetting that we were trying to do like our ideal selves, and so I was just doing it in the present moment. So some of those I went back and forth because I forgot that guideline, just FYI. I said for 2018 I am free and loved.
Ooh, I like that. Deborah, would you like to share in this one?
Yeah, I kept it kind of to the present as well, realistic. So I just put traveling and we'll probably try and start a master's this year.
I love that. Rachel, would you like to share?
I don't think I was like aspirational enough.
Yeah,
I just put, I'm at the top of my game. I'm not asking them, they are asking me.
Oh, I like that. I like how y'all must have really high bars because your aspirational ones, they sound really awesome to me. Top of my game. They're asking me. I'm not asking them. I don't know how you could supercharge that anymore. So I dig it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Raza, do you have one for that?
Yeah, well, I wrote down the first thing that came to me was I'm making another comeback.
Yeah. So I think one way we can say that is I've come back. Didn't have to
There you go.
make it. I'm here. My ideal self came back, is here, ready, moved on.
Well, that's the first thing that popped out, and which leads to obviously bigger and better things. But yes, I'm doing the best I can to make a comeback.
Alhamdulillah. Who hasn't got to pick a number yet?
I'll pick one.
Okay.
And number 5.
Number 5. In my financial life, I am blank. And we'll go in reverse order on this one. So, Raza, would you like to start us off?
Sure. I am extremely comfortable.
Yeah. Rachel, would you like to go next?
I would if I could read what I wrote. I don't really understand my sprawl at this point. I think it says something like living without exceptions.
I like that.
And it said something like lavishly.
Yeah. That's a nice word. That's even good to say. Deborah, would you like to share on this one?
Yeah, I kind of put like buying stuff without the worry. So, yeah.
Sadia?
I said prospering, responsible, and I have everything necessary.
I put abundance, freedom, and never ending.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adora?
I'm settling into my new 8-bedroom house and adapting it for family and friends.
Nice.
You did it right.
Am I still there?
You have the couch.
This is how I have to find out?
We chose the house together, so.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Adora, for a second in the crowd, you're going to say, yeah, you got a couch, Tom.
Pull out couch. Who else hasn't picked a number? Has everyone picked one?
No, I haven't picked
Deborah,
one.
what's the number you'd like to have?
Oh, Deborah's picked one. I'll pick. I'll pick number. Oh, hold on. Did we go to 10? Maybe 10.
10. Okay. We'll start in the middle and work our way around. So, Sadia, we'll have you start first.
Number 10, I said I am figuring it out, adulting, kind of, and sufficient.
Why did you add the kind of? What's the kind of part?
I'm a little resistant to fully embracing all the responsibilities of being an adult. Even though I'm 31, I still feel that.
Okay. So is it in kind of a playful way?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say just trying to keep my my joy. Maybe I have an idea that adults don't have enough joy. Maybe that's what it is.
When they get too serious.
Yeah.
So keep it playful.
And they really define themselves by things they don't like and what they won't do.
Rather than what?
Rather than things they do like and things that they're open to trying and trying new experiences.
I like that. Thank you, Sadia. Let's go. Then we'll go to Adora.
Victorious!
Victorious! Hey! Super pose. The Adora dance. Raza?
I am loved.
Ooh, I like that. Rachel?
I am about to take the world by storm, so hold on to your hats.
Hey! Deborah?
I put every day to be better than the previous.
Yes! I co-signed that one. And I wrote, I am here, singing it at the climax of the Beyonce song. It's like, I am here! That's the part, that's what I wrote. Can we snap it up for everybody and their answers? How does everybody feeling right now? I feel like our energy got raised as we shared more and more. Does anyone else agree with that or resonate with that?
Yeah.
I think it's doing great.
Right now.
So I think even in this experiential opportunity, we can see that just talking about our ideal self, talking about ourselves as, being really playful and thinking way up here, that you start to feel better. So already we can see that when we start with identity and then start to do things from that identity, even just talking about it, speaking it as if we believe it, we start to feel good. And then any thoughts you have, any ideas, your next pathway is going to come to you that much easier because there's not as much resistance. You're in a place of belief, a place of confidence, and a place of imagination. So we're constructing this bit by bit. The way we want to finish this is to create some ideals for yourself. Has anybody ever heard this phrase before, creating an ideal? I had never heard of this either until I read this really awesome book that called Way of Kings, if people are into fictional Game of Thrones type books. And each person, the whole point was each person had to come up with their ideals. And when they came up with an ideal, that's where they got their superpowers. So for them, their ideals were that they had to discover was journey before destination, strength before weakness, and life before death. And whenever a character would figure out those words, they'd say those words, and it was usually at a climactical part. That's when they'd get access to a superpower. And so we want to create for you some ideals, a couple phrases like that in those moments where you're starting to feel yourself fall back into your less than ideal self or your lower self, that you can use those to strive to, that can get you back to an identity place. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So a couple writing prompt ways you can form these is the one that we just talked about, blank over blank, or blank before blank, or you can do something like first I am blank, second I am blank, and most importantly I am blank. Whatever way you want to phrase them, but to come up with 3 to 5 sentences that carry a lot of meaning and impact for you that you can use to create some ideals and virtues that you're going to live for. You're going to live and exemplify this year. Any questions on what we'll be doing?
Sorry, Tom. I'm a little distracted there. Say it one more time if you don't mind. I apologize.
All good. Did you hear my explanation of ideals?
A little bit, yes, I did. And I was writing something down, so I kind of lost a little bit, but sorry about that. Go ahead. Please tell me one more time.
Okay, so we want to create some ideals for ourselves that we can live for and exemplify this year. And so some writing prompts you can use to form those could be blank over blank, like the one I shared of journey before destination or strength over weakness. You can have blank before blank, or you can do something like first I am, second I will, most importantly, I remember that. Something like that. You can use some of the 10-second prompts we use to formulate 3 to 5 ideals that you're going to exemplify this year. Make sense?
Okay.
And have fun with it. There's no wrong or right way to do it. This is for you. So we're going to bring us back to the group. I saw a lot of thinking minds on. Who would like to start by sharing a few of your ideals with us? Go ahead, Sadia.
Okay. My ideals for 2018 are discipline over laziness, action over thought, and movement over all.
Can we snap it up for Sadia? Yes. Who would like to go next?
Okay.
Was that Deborah or Rachel? I heard an
I just put one thing at first, and I started writing lots of different things. But one of the things I wrote is resistance over negativity.
Would you like to share with us any of the other things you wrote?
Also, can you say it again? Sorry.
Sorry. Resistance over negativity, And then I put empower self to be stronger, confident, self-belief, move forward.
That's wonderful. Can we snap it up, please?
Go, Deborah!
Thank you, Deborah. Who would like to? Raza, I think you had started to share. What is yours?
So, give before you take. Think before you act. And treat others well before the way you want to be treated. Those are some of the things that, and listen before speaking.
Wonderful. Can we snap it up for Raza? Rachel, Adora, who would like to go next?
Go on, Adora.
Go on, Rachel.
You go on.
No, you.
We'd like our guests to go ahead, but no, I will go ahead. Kindness to victory, elevating over boundaries, and beloved before ignorance.
Can we snap it up for Adora? Yes.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Awesome.
Okay.
Oh, I should have really gone first. I don't even know if these make sense, but here we go. I've got ideas over problems, instinct over fear, and confidence over doubt.
If that makes sense to y'all, let me hear you snap it up. No, that made perfect sense. That was crystal clear and amazing. Thank you for that. I put first, I am courageous. Second, I am alignment. Then I follow my bliss, all while enjoying the journey and remembering, feeling good over being right, creation over regurgitation, centered over force. Step it up for Tom. Yeah. Well, this has been truly an amazing process for me. This is one of the first times I've done this workshop, so I appreciate you all being a part of it. To bring us home in these last 2 minutes we're here together, the way we like to end our workshops is by sharing an affirmation for the group and for the process. So if you have one for everybody in general, and then an affirmation for the process. And we'll just go around each person and do that, and then we'll wrap up for the day. Who would like to start us off?
Affirming the group. It is just such a lovely mix of people. Sadia, it's so great to just get some insight into who you are and what you do. Reza, like I said, it's just so much fun to have you in these groups because you always just bring something that I'm not expecting. And as for Rachel and Deborah, I am just super impressed. You got in past midnight last night, California time, didn't get to bed till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I've been harassing you about this workshop. You got off the plane and you both just gracefully succumbed and were just sweet and just haven't had any breakfast. These people haven't eaten for maybe 48 hours. This is the tyranny under which they live with Adora. And they have done this, you know? So I just love the fact that we have all these giving, wonderful people who have come and contributed to this group. And I adore your workshop-wise. Yeah, this is exactly what I needed to get me in the right headspace for this year. It's all very well reminding yourself to be your own superhero, but now I have tools and little words and phrases that I can take away that will remind me about, you know, the 8-bedroom house and my Emmy nomination and Tom Earl rocking with Beyonce when I'm not looking.
Cheer! We're both cheering for you. Can we snap it up for Adora?
Yeah. Hey.
Sadia, would you like to go next?
Sure. As far as the group, I mostly really loved all the accents. I loved listening to people from different places. That was a really cool part of it. And I loved how everyone expressed their different values, but it's so cool. It seemed like everyone was coming from such a good place. And again, I think I shared this last time I participated in this, but I liked that everyone, that it was such an open space. So I always really appreciate that. I think that's all I have to say about the group. It was really awesome.
Wonderful. Anything about the process you want to add?
The process. I agree. You said it was one of Adora's favorite exercises to do like the 20-second poems. I really like that. I think that's really helpful for me. And like you said, it helps you not to filter so much. And the process I felt was overall a very positive experience, which always adds a lot of value to my life. So I appreciated it.
Wonderful. Can we snap it up for Sadia?
Yeah.
Deborah, would you like to go next?
Yeah, thank you for inviting me to this workshop. It's been a pleasure. I think it's just taking a lot of this mindset and putting it forward, putting it into action. Sometimes it's great to talk about it, 'cause that's the first step, I think, in lots of things, is putting it out there. But it's just trying to galvanize his feelings, his emotions, his whatever I've written down, and see if you can take it forward. So yeah, it's been helpful. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you for that, Deborah. Can we snap it up for Deborah, please?
Yeah.
Rachel?
Oh, well, I think it's funny because I was like, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What is it? But actually, I'm trying to be a little bit more like, just go ahead and do things, which was good. So like getting rid of the fear, because actually it's right up my street, all this kind of thing. But maybe Laura knew this secretly. But also I would say that like I have been feeling like, because it's the start of the year and I feel like everyone started the year and I'm away for 6 weeks, which I chose to do because I needed it, but also I'm like, I'm behind, and also felt like needed to be grounded or needed some like focus, because I feel like I always feel like I need to work harder, or I need to just kind of like be more not precise, or kind of like more centered, I think, and clear about what my intentions are. So I must have asked the universe in like my mind, I put out into the universe this is something that I wanted, and then it happened to me without me, because I was literally like, I'm going to have to find someone to talk to because I need to sort out all of these things. And then it just happened this morning without like anything. So I just feel like, yeah, universe is working in my favor. So just keep on going. And it was really nice to like, for everyone, I don't know, well, I do know Adora and obviously Deborah, but I don't know anybody else really properly. Just met you this morning, Tom. And so it was really nice that everyone felt like they had this space, and they felt supported to share in the way that they all have done this morning. And I just thought the exercises like this poem thing is great, and the little reminder thing is great. I know these, I'm going to keep these, and this is the kind of thing that I'm going to find and be like, oh yes, remember this is great. Because I feel like often I wake up in the morning and I don't feel like that thing, but to have that the diagram where you kind of feel like, if you can just start thinking like you are the thing, then you can be the thing. Okay, so that's it. I stopped talking.
Yay! That was wonderful. Thank you, Rachel. Raza?
Well, that was great. I don't know how to top that, but I just want to thank everyone for sharing so much and just honestly being open. I felt like everyone was being open, and whatever was there that they wanted to talk about, it was that's how I felt. So that also, and as far as the process goes, I think I like the fact that this is starting off the New Year's on a very positive and refreshing note to bring the best out of yourself, to be the best that you can be this year. That's how I felt about the process, really.
Wonderful. Can we snap it up for Raza, please?
Woo-hoo!
I just want to affirm everybody for coming here. This is our first live group coaching session for the Celebration Academy members. First one I've ever done. I think I had a moment of crisis on Thursday where I said to Adora, I don't think anyone's coming. And then there's a bunch of people here. So really means the world to me. And, for our students who are a part of the Academy, it's, you're a part of a lifelong dream I've had. So I really appreciate your energy and your presence. I appreciate your patience and us getting started today. And this was just really fulfilling. And the process for me always exemplifies that you can, when you bring diverse groups of people together to have meaningful conversations, that transformation always follows. And so I really appreciate us continuing to show that by being vulnerable and courageous and creative. So thank you so much. As Deborah was saying, that this is a great tool, and then ways to start to put it into action is to continue taking the courses that we have at the Celebration Academy. Manifest Your Adventure is our newest one. Foundations of Leadership is a really great one. And as you know, Art Makes Impact is all of the replays of our writing workshops. So continue to take those. Let me know if you have any questions in between now and our next group coaching session. And any way I can support, let me know. The way we like to end is if you could put your arms in front of you like this. So just put your arms in front of you and then cross them. Cross them. Give yourself a big hug because you're amazing. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Tom. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Russell.
Bye. Bye. Good talking to you all. Bye.
Greetings, Tom Earl here. Hope you enjoyed that workshop in this week's episode of The Celebration. I hope you're wishing me happiness while I'm out here in Nigeria. My question for you before we head out is, have you ever felt inspired to share some sort of message with the world? Do you have some sort of art or creative project or some sort of passion that you would like to share with the world that you know in doing so you will make the world a better place? If you resonate with that, you might have heard me at the beginning invite you to join the Celebration Academy by becoming a part of Inner Power Group Coaching. Inner Power Group Coaching is designed to empower you with the tools you can use to master social media, digital ads, Facebook ads, email marketing, all the different ways that the phone and your computer and all of these things really make you your own media station. That back in the day, if you were a musician and you wanted to get your song out there, if you think about all the things you had to do, all the gatekeepers that prevented you from realizing your dreams now, whether you sell t-shirts or you're a graphic designer or you're an actor, a musician, or you invented something, you have a side hustle, or you have an expertise that you would like to teach people for, there is no longer any gatekeepers holding you back from realizing your dreams. It is all literally at your fingertips, more likely your thumbs if you're using your phone. I would like to empower you with the tools, the mindset, and the strategies to make that happen. So I'd love for you to end 2018 strong and start 2019 like you've never done before, with your feet on the ground running towards your dreams, making it happen. So I'd like to once again invite you to become a part of Inner Power Group Coaching. If you sign up before the end of 2018, I'll provide you with 50% off your first month. So to check that out, head to tomroll.com/coach. And when you check out, use the coupon code DREAMBIG. As always, my friends, I am humbled that you have shared your gifts, your time, and your energy with me. It means the world. As always, peace and blessings.